Hello everybody and welcome to Learning at Home with Mrs. V. Alright, so today we're going to be adding with unlike denominators. So we're going to be going through those same steps that you wrote down in your notes. So if you want to get your notes out, that'd be great. Alright, and if you want to get a piece of paper out and do this with me, that'd be great too. Alright, so we've got 3/4 plus 1/7. I noticed that the denominators are not the same. So step number one, we've got to create equivalent fractions so that our denominators are equal. All right, so I'm going to take a look at 3/4 and 1/7. I've got my denominators. That's the first thing I'm going to do, circle my denominators. And I know I have to create multiples or a count by for each one of these so that I can find a common denominator. All right, so fours, I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. All right, so for the sevens, I've got 7, 14, 21, 28. All right, so now I have my common denominator, 28. So I have to figure out how many times did I count by 4s and by 7s in order to get that common denominator. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 times for the 4s, and 1, 2, 3, 4 times for the 7s. So now I'm going to take that information, I'm going to put that up here, so times 7 times 7, and when I multiply the top and bottom by the same number, I'm creating an equivalent fraction so that the denominators will be the same. So I've got 3 times 7 and 4 times 7. Well, 3 times 7 is 21, and 4 times 7 we know is 28. So 21 28ths is equivalent to 3/4. So I've created that equivalent fraction so that I could have common denominators. All right, so now here I've got times 4. I counted 4 times. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom times 4. 1 times 4 is 4, and 7 times 4 is 28. So now, my next step. So I've got my common denominators. I did that by finding multiples. My next step is to add the numerators. So when I add the numerators, I've got 21 plus 4. 21 plus 4 is 25. And then I drag my denominator across, and I've got my answer. I also have to check to make sure that this isn't an improper fraction. Remember, an improper fraction is when the numerator is larger than the denominator. Well, here, that's not the case. So I don't have to change it to a mixed number. I just simply circle, and I've got my answer. All right, let's follow those same steps with another problem. So we've got 5/6 plus 3/8. Again, I'm going to circle my denominators so I know for what I'm finding the multiples or doing the count by. So I've got 6s and 8s. So I've got 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Now I'm going to go ahead and write out my multiples for 8. 8, 16, 24, aha, I've got my common multiple. Now, I'm going to have to change these denominators so that they're both 24. So I have to figure out how many times did I count by 6s, and I counted by 6s 4 times. How many times did I count by 8s? I counted 3 times. I'm going to use that information, put it up here to create my equivalent fraction. So I've got 6 times 4 and 5 times 4. So my new equivalent fraction to 5/6 is going to be 5 times 4, which is 20, and 6 times 4, which is 24. So 20 24ths is equivalent to 5/6. All right, so now I'm going to take this information, the times 3, and put it up here. I need to multiply 3 times 3, which is 9, and 8 times 3, which is 24, in order to get my equivalent fraction to 3/8 so that I have common denominators. So 3/8 is equivalent to 9/24. Now, my next step, so that was my first two steps, all right? So I did my multiples, and then I changed these to the equivalent fractions. I'm on to step 3. I'm going to add my numerators, 20 plus 9, which is 29, drag my denominator across, and then check. My last step is to check to see if this is an improper fraction. Well, if my numerator is larger than my denominator, the answer is yes. And this time it is. So now I have to find out how many are hiding in here, how many whole numbers are hiding in here. So I can either divide, draw, or decompose. I'm going to go ahead and decompose. So 24/24 gives me 1 whole. My numerator and denominator, when those are the same, that equals 1. So if I take 24 out of here, then I take 24 out, then I have 5 left. 29 minus 24 is 5. So I have 5/24 left, and I add that to my 1 whole, and I get 1 whole and 5/24. All right, you could also divide, you could also draw a picture, whatever you're most comfortable with in order to find how many whole numbers are hidden in here. All right, so this is adding with unlike denominators, and that's what you're going to be doing for your Monday work. All right, you can rewatch this video, or you can send me an email if you want me to meet with you or talk with you or just answer some questions. All right, so I want you to keep thinking, keep watching, always stay curious, and I'll see you next time.